What's going on, guys? Auzio here and welcome back to a brand new video. So today we got Team of the Week 17 predictions, and this Team of the Week is going to be quite interesting simply because this is going to be the Team of the Week that I believe it's going into Team of the Year, which means EA are most likely going to be juicing up this Team of the Week so it can actually be pretty decent, so they can have a good Team of the Week while Team of the Year is actually out, so more people can obviously open packs. But we are going to start off with the man himself, Ben Yedder, the person we absolutely despised in the previous FIFAs. He grabbed himself 2 goals and a 9.2 rating as well while grabbing a man of match performance. Now he does actually have a headliner card, so you can expect that headliner card to go up to an 88, while this is obviously an 87 overall. Looks insanely usable. We all know he's 4-star skill moves with a 5-star weak foot. He's got a pace, he's got a dribbling, he's got a shooting to his game. What this man can't do is not a lot, let's just say that, but I definitely see this guy being in Team of the Week. Moving over to Mohr, the guy that moved from West Ham to Ajax for like 20 plus mil. I can't remember the exact amount, but he grabbed himself a goal, 2 assists, and a 9.1 rating as well. Now, the interesting thing about Mohr is the fact that he's had a nationality changed while having a club change as well. So from West Ham to Ajax, as I said, and from France to Ivory Coast. So you could be seeing a brand new Mohr card in FIFA this week. Now, he doesn't look, too bad, but he just doesn't look absolutely insane. Now, another person obviously turned up in this game, and it was actually Huntelaar. Huntelaar ended up grabbing himself 2 goals, but Huntelaar got subbed on, and Mohr grabbed himself the 2 assists for Huntelaar's goals. So I feel like Mohr will most likely be the one that actually gets the Team of the Week for that game. Moving over, we are going to see Jovic, the guy that went from Frankfurt to Real Madrid back to Frankfurt, and on his debut he's gonna score himself 2 goals and an 8.5 rating as well while being a super sub. Absolutely insane. The guy didn't really perform for Real Madrid, but he obviously performs in the Bundesliga. Now, when it comes down to being usable in FIFA, obviously the pace is not great, let's all be fair, right? But the dribbling and shooting is actually looking pretty decent. Moving over, we are going to see Malen. Now, Malen has got a showdown card. We all saw that showdown card, right? The showdown card was pretty decent. So, you could obviously argue this inform is kind of like a waste in a way, or kind of pointless in a way, because he has a way better card that you could have ended up getting. But he still looks like a really good card with 94 pace, 85 dribbling, and 81 shooting as well. He managed to grab himself 2 goals, a single assist with a 9.1 rating as well. We are going to see Bakis. Now, Bakis is looking like a pretty not so great card, let's just say that. Because, yeah, you could grab yourself a hat-trick in real life. Yeah, you could end up with a 9.7 rating. But if you sit there with 47 pace in FIFA 21, you best believe you're not going to get used. It's simple as that. The meta is clearly not slow players this year. It's clearly fast players trying to get those through balls in behind. And with a player that has 47 pace, you're not going to see him in my team anytime soon. Let's just say that. So looking on to the next guy here, we are going to see a guy that I literally have no idea how to pronounce. But if you're grabbing 4 goals with a 9.7 rating, you definitely deserve to be in this Team of the Week. But let me know in the comment section, how do you actually pronounce this guy's name? Because my god, it's way out of my reach. You know how it is, right? When it comes down to pronouncing names, I'm obviously not the greatest to say it, and especially trying to pronounce that name, I pretty much have no chance. Now, he looks pretty decent, but he doesn't look, anything outrageous. He also doesn't come from the greatest league, so I really doubt this guy will probably be used in anyone's team, or even as SBC fodder, because he's not really a high rated either. Moving over, we are going to see Wyke. Now, Wyke, our first silver card this Team of the Week predictions, grabbed himself a hat-trick, a 9.7 rating. Pretty decent performance, let's all be fair. Now, as you clearly can see, there are a lot of strikers that could be getting into this Team of the Week. There were so many strikers that actually performed so well. So, you can obviously see a lot of strikers into this Team of the Week, but they're all 100% going to be deserved. This guy, yeah, not too much to talk about, let's all be fair. You might be grabbing hat-tricks in real life, you might be grabbing 9.7 ratings, but you're not going to be that usable in FIFA, let's all be fair. Moving over, we are going to see Bayo. Now, Bayo grabbed himself another hat-trick, and it's going to be another striker. A 9.6 rating, 83 pace, 70 dribbling, and 74 shooting. Once again, not the greatest stats, but he definitely deserves to be in this Team of the Week. Moving over, we are going to see Insigne. Now, Insigne I tell you what, this card is looking very, very interesting because he actually has a road to the final card when it comes down to the what's called Europa League, and it's actually the same rating as this card. So, and once again, this card will probably be a little bit pointless because you might as well go get the road to the final card. But obviously that card is going to be a bit more expensive because it actually can get upgraded. But it looks like an absolutely insane card. We all know Insigne. He isn't obviously the tallest of attackers, but he's still one of those players that feels outstanding on the ball. He's got that pace to his game, and if you give him the right chem style, he obviously has the shooting to his game as well. He grabbed himself 2 goals, a single assist, and a 9.4 rating. So heading over to our next player here, we are going to see Thomas Muller, the guy that should have been in Team of the Year nominees at least. He had an outstanding performance and EA didn't place him into the Team of the Year nominees. I was honestly so confused on why they actually didn't do it. But they have to give him this inform. He deserves it. You didn't put him in Team of the Year nominees, so put him at least into the Team of the Week. Grabbing himself a goal, an assist and an 8.5 rating, with Bayern winning the game 2-1, obviously Muller being involved with both goals. So looking at another cam, we are going to see Mason Mount grabbing himself the game winner for Chelsea with a 9.1 rating against Fulham. And you might be questioning, right? A goal, 9.1 rating, how does that add up? This guy had an outstanding performance. He was by far the best player on that pitch. His passes, his dribbling, everything was literally spot on for Mason Mount that day. So he definitely deserves to get obviously into the Team of the Week. He doesn't look, let's be honest, he doesn't look insane in FIFA when it comes down to this inform. But if you guys did that road to the final card, that Champions League road to the final card, that card could end up being pretty decent depending on obviously how far Chelsea actually get. But if you guys have that card, obviously this card won't be much use for you. But hey, if you're a Chelsea fan, your boy Mason Mount will most likely be into the Team of the Week. So moving over to the next guy here, we are going to see Pereira. Now Pereira grabbed himself 2 goals, an 8.8 rating, with both goals being penalties against Wolves. West Brom actually beat Wolves 3-2, which is something I definitely did not expect. I understand Wolves are obviously not in the greatest form right now, but they can't be losing to West Brom. They can't be losing to a team that is literally bottom of the table. But Pereira obviously did grab the 2 penalty goals. This card, I must admit, or this player, let's say, he's not, I would say, guaranteed to get in Team of the Week just because both goals was actually penalties. But I feel like he probably has a very, very decent chance of obviously getting in. Moving over, we are going to see Pogba. Paul Pogba. As I said, EA are most likely going to juice this Team of the Week because this is going to be the Team of the Week that I personally believe is going to go into Team of the Year. So you could end up seeing a Paul Pogba going into the Team of the Year. And that's going to be quite interesting because he grabbed himself a goal, an 8.9 rating with an outstanding performance. This guy did everything perfect. He grabbed a goal versus Burnley to obviously Manchester United to go top of the table. Then you got stuff like his defensive work was absolutely outrageous. This guy was putting in tackle after tackle. His passing ability, his dribbling ability, he was absolutely on form. And he was on form against Liverpool as well, but he got very unlucky not actually to grab a single goal in that game. But still, Paul Pogba, you could end up seeing himself in Team of the Week. So looking on to our next guy here, we are going to see Luis Alberto grabbing himself 2 goals and an 8.9 rating as well. The guy had one hell of a performance in a big game versus Roma. Now we all remember Luis Alberto from last year, right? The amount of informs that this guy grabbed last year was an absolute joke. A centre mid inform, a cam inform, a right mid inform, I believe. It was just on a whole new level, and he was most likely used in SBC fodder. That was the sad part, right? Where you're getting all these informs, you're trying to get better and stuff like that, and you're still getting used for SBC fodder. Do I believe it's going to be the same thing for this year? Probably not. I feel like his card will actually start to become really, really nice, saying that EA did obviously give him that upgrade. So we might actually see Luis Alberto slide into a lot of people's teams. And if he's obviously not that great in-game, he will most likely be used as SBC fodder once again. Moving over, we are going to see Koopmeiners. Now, you recognize this guy, right? He was in Team of the Week predictions a few weeks back, I believe it was, and he ended up getting himself that Team of the Week. 2 goals, a single assist, and a 9.2 rating for his performance. Boys, if you guys haven't seen this guy's second goal, go and watch it after this video. It's an absolute joke. It was off like a corner, and the guy backheel chipped. It was the most disgusting goal I've seen in 2021 so far. Probably the best goal actually that I've seen in 2021 so far. It was just on a whole new level. I don't understand the technique that he actually did it in, but it's a goal at the end of the day. He was a beautiful chip at a very, very hard angle, and especially it was a back heel, which makes it 10 times better. But you can definitely see Koopmeiners grab himself his second in form already. So moving over to another centre mid, we are going to see Barella. Now Barella grabbed himself a single goal, a single assist, and an 8.9 rating to top it off as well. In a big game against Juventus, Inter Milan winning 2-0 against Juventus, and obviously Barella being involved with both goals. Absolutely outrageous from this kid right here. Now, he actually looks pretty decent in FIFA. Let's all be fair. It's one of those ones where, you know, he could be pretty decent with the right chem style, but he's most likely going to probably be most usable in like a full 1-2-on-2, playing in a right centre mid position or playing in the left centre mid position. That's when you're probably going to notice him going obviously up and forward, helping out when going forward and helping out on defense. But still, looks like a pretty decent card. So looking over to our next guy here, we are going to see Ndombele grab himself a goal and an 8.3 rating as well, with a really nice all-round performance. But if you guys haven't seen this guy's goal, my god, go check it out after this video. You will not be disappointed. It was a beautiful chip, while being surrounded by a few players as well. It was something, I must admit, I did not expect of Ndombele, but it was a kind of a surprise when it went in. And he doesn't look too bad in FIFA. He's got that pace to his game, that dribbling looks absolutely outrageous. The defending obviously doesn't look the greatest, but hopefully he can get fixed with a simple chem style. His physicals look pretty decent as well. What chem style would I probably put on this guy? It probably would obviously be a shadow chem style, if not, probably an anchor. But either way, the guy needs that defending boost without a doubt if you are thinking of playing this guy in your team. So on to our next player here, we are going to see Tielemans. Now Tielemans grabbed himself 2 assists and an 8.9 rating as well. He's an absolutely outrageous player, honestly. Every time I watch this guy play, he always performs. The slide tackles, putting in standing tackles, the interceptions, the pace, the work rates. He is literally everywhere on the pitch, and I must admit, Leicester are really lucky to have this guy, because if they didn't, I wouldn't say they would struggle, but they will probably miss out on a big player. But he doesn't look too bad when it comes down to, you know, in FIFA. He's got the 82 dribbling, 81 shooting, 85 passing, 67 pace, 72 defending with the 74 physicals. Where would you honestly play this guy? Centre mid or CDM without a doubt, right? But he definitely needs that pace increase. So if you're trying to use this guy does need that shadow chem style. So heading over to our next guy, we are going to see Souza. Now Souza grabbed himself a goal, an 8.7 rating, with obviously grabbing a man of match performance as well in a big game versus Galatasaray. Galatasaray ended up losing the game actually 2-0, with obviously Souza being involved with one of the goals. Now look at this card. It's not actually looking too bad. 88 physicals looks, you know, absolutely outrageous. 81 defending looks pretty decent as well. The 72 pace is obviously a bit questionable, and obviously the 75 dribbling is obviously a bit questionable. But was this guy last year the guy that had like a really nice card that I believe I gave like a really high rating? If it wasn't, it was definitely someone with pretty much the exact same name, because I remember they were Brazilian. I remember they were called Souza, but I'm not sure if it was actually this guy. But I believe he had like a really nice card last year, but he actually doesn't look too bad this year with obviously this in form. Moving over, we are going to see Keane with a single goal and an 8.3 rating as well. Now the only problem with Keane is the pace. Like, if this guy was fast, my god, he would be good. The defending stats, top tier. The physical stats, top tier. The dribbling obviously doesn't look the greatest, and the passing doesn't look the greatest, but if this guy had pace to his game, oh, he would definitely be up there with some of the best centre-backs to use in this game if he had pace. Well, because he hasn't got pace, it's obviously going to be one of those ones where a lot of people are most likely going to put this Keane card to obviously the side. But if you get him in your red player picks, you can obviously use him as SBC fodder. As simple as that. Moving over, we are going to see another Premier League centre-back, and it is going to be Stones, grabbing himself 2 goals and a 9.0 rating against Crystal Palace. What a performance this guy had, by the way. Defensive, absolute stonewall. You see what I did there? You see what I did there. Either way, absolute stonewall. The guy didn't allow anyone past him, and also obviously helping out on the other side of the pitch, grabbing himself those 2 goals. Now the thing is with this card is the fact that if you really wanted Stones, you would have just gone ahead and did the Moments card, you know? If you wanted Stones on your team, you might as well go get that Moments card because it has that increase to its pace, and there's not really too much of a point of just going ahead and getting this in form when you could have obviously ended up getting a better card. But I feel like he's still going to be one of those players that puts in a very, very solid tackle in this game. It's just he's once again going to obviously struggle when it comes down to the pace. Moving over, we are going to see Main Card. Now, Main Card grabbed himself a goal, an assist, and an 8.9 rating. Once again, another centre-back that hasn't really got that pace to his game. But if you're grabbing a goal and an assist as a centre-back, which is something you don't see very often, you 100% deserves to be in this team of the week, without a doubt. But once again, he's probably going to be one of those players that puts in a very good tackle, but he cannot catch up to the Kylian Mbappe's, the Marcus Rashfords, or even the CR7s, let's all be fair. So looking at our goalkeepers now, we are going to see Alisson being our first one, grabbing himself 4 saves and a 7.8 rating as well. And you might be questioning, you might be thinking to yourself, 7.8, 4 saves? That's barely anything. Well, it was a big game. Well, let's all be fair. It was against Manchester United to see who went first in the table. And obviously, Alisson decided he wanted to turn up. Bruno Fernandes could have scored. Paul Pogba could have scored. But Alisson did not allow a single goal past him, which is absolutely outrageous. Now, the thing is with Alisson, I don't personally feel like he's going to be into the team of the year. I believe Neuer is going to get into team of the year. So they could give Alisson an inform because of his performance and try to make Alisson and Neuer in packs at the same time. As I said, EA are thinking of juicing this team of the week so he can go into team of the year and more people are going to be opening packs. So performances like this, they're most likely going to go straight onto and they're going to end up giving this guy a team of the week. So looking at our next goalkeeper here, we are going to see Akaija grab himself 5 saves with an 8.5 rating as well, with a beautiful performance in a big game once again versus Lyon. Metz ended up winning that game 1-0. Do I believe Metz could have ended up winning that game 1-0 if Akaija wasn't in goal? Most likely, and that is why he deserves to be in this team of the week. Now, when it comes down to the goalkeepers, a lot of people look at the reflexes, the diving and the handling and the positioning, and then they think to themselves, oh, if they're not good in those kind of areas, I don't really want them. But what I look at is the kicking. The reason I look at kicking is because team press is such an overpowered tactic this year, to the point where you know for a fact time to time you are going to pass back to your keeper. And once you pass back to your keeper, if your goalkeeper does not have good kicking ability, a full power LBY or a full power X ball could actually just end up going into the middle. And that's why players like Alisson are so good, because you could give back the ball to your goalkeeper and just smack an LBY all the way down the line and you could be into their defensive line quite easily. So for me, Akaija is probably going to be one of those players that is most likely not going to get used into a lot of people's teams. So going on to our last player here, and it's going to be our silver star prediction. It is going to be Eliasson with a 92 pace, the 83 dribbling and a 68 shooting as well, 2 goals and an 8.8 rating with a really good performance. This card right here wouldn't actually be too bad in silver stars. I would definitely be happy with this card because of his pace, because of his dribbling. It's going to be one of those cards that is most likely going to help out a decent amount in obviously Silver Lounge. But this is going to be it for Team of the Week predictions. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a comment. But for now, peace.